2012, the only one that did. Jay Stewart, thegrayfalcon.webs.com.
He is known only as the Falconer.
Yeah, these guys, Trump has been abandoned. That's what's happened. Hey, Jay, how you doing, brother?
What's up, man?
What's going on? So you have an overlap between Republicans and progressives that have your sights on, huh?
Yeah. Last week I was talking to a lot of, South St. Louis area, 15th Ward and a lot of other areas, very politically active. But it's a lot more three-dimensional than just, you have people like down here, Megan Green,
yeah,
and Bruce Franks.
Yeah.
And I know you've interviewed both of them. And I found that a lot of Republicans have been agreeing with the things that they've been saying because they've been standing up to the traditional, sacred dogs, if you will, of the local Democratic establishment.
Right.
And a lot of people are taking notice and saying, hey, wait a minute, these guys aren't part of that partisan machine. And I think that there's an opening there for both parties if progressives like them can speak to issues that are beyond that go beyond the conventional modes.
Well, that's a great catch, Jay, because that's one of the reasons why I haven't even I'm sure Megan and I and Bruce and I, if you got right down to separate issues, we'd probably have very marked differences. But nonetheless, though, I stand up for them because, first of all, I like them. Secondly, I believe that they are making a righteous call for an anti-establishment viewpoint, and plus they've also been ripped off. And Bruce was, like a lot of Republicans have before. And so I think there definitely is some convergence, and I'd stand up for them. And you know what? If they disagree with me on some issue like here, I don't care as much as I care about helping them establish their own righteousness as part of this republic. And so I'm there.
And perfect example is Megan Green stepped up on the stadium and said we shouldn't be paying for it.
Right.
As it turns out, she was right.
Oh yeah.
She challenged Louis Reed and the Democratic establishment, and now Republicans all over the country are saying the same thing. Scott Walker, on the other hand, turned out on the back door, wanted his citizens to pay for the stadium in Milwaukee through a backdoor tax on high-income earners and athletes. So sometimes you'll see progressives doing a better job manifesting the principles that conservatives used to talk about all the time than many so-called conservatives do.
Well, Jay, I want you to hang on for a second because I'm gonna take a break here and come back, and then before we get to Rob Raines, I want to flesh this out with you because these two, Megan Green was even a Black Lives Matter person, but again, that those are all, and I don't have anything particularly against that group as it is, but what I'm saying is generally there's this aversion. We've been divided in some of these smaller issues and bigger issues, and yet there definitely is a convergence in terms of what we believe is right. And they're right on so many other issues, but mostly they're right on the fact that they have been crushed by the establishment, much the way many conservatives have, and so we're there on board to help them either way. But I want you to hang on for a second because I got something else to talk to you about regarding that whole area. Megan Green, by the way, is running for the Board of Aldermen yet against another Hubbard. So we'll follow up on that. Jay, hang on, buddy. Appreciate you.
I'm Bruce Vail with Your Money Now. Shares of consumer products maker Kimberly-Clark will likely move lower when the stock market opens in a few minutes. The company reported an increase in profit in its latest quarter, but revenue fell more than 2.5%, and the company lowered its current year forecast for organic sales growth and earnings. Kimberly-Clark said sales increased 3% in developing and emerging markets during the quarter, but declined in all other markets. Now, when you like something on Facebook, you may be donating to a worthy cause. A Canadian company called PixHug has released an app that turns social media likes into corporate donations. Every photo posted on PixHug or Facebook with the PixHug app supports a humanitarian campaign, and every like turns into a 10-cent donation from a corporate sponsor. Crude oil futures fell more than 1% in pre-market trading, while stock market futures are a bit higher ahead of the opening bell. That's Your Money Now.
In my line of work, I'm trying to make a difference. Not $1 billion, but I want to save for the future, too. So this year, I partnered with TIAA to help me map out a plan. If I stick to it, I could have an income stream for life and maintain my lifestyle in retirement. Looks like a life of rewarding work could pay off for a lifetime.
Your personal success takes a financial partner who values it as much as you do. Learn more at TIAA.org.
It started at bunko night. A little tickle in my throat, says Sandra. Then comes Colin barking like a seal. That cough, that's the flu. And then it spreads to Edna, to Wiley, to Marjorie. But when it comes to your door, you won't be answering because you got your flu shot at Rite Aid, where they care about you and your health. So while they're seeing doctors and sweating through fevers, you'll be teaching your granddaughter the 2-deck shuffle. Shield yourself at Rite Aid before it's too late. If you're over 65, the CDC recommends flu and pneumonia shots. No appointments necessary, and they're free with Medicare Part B. Rite Aid. With us, it's personal. Flu vaccines available while supplies last. Age restrictions apply in some states. See pharmacy for details.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling. Weather with Dave Murray.
Lots of sunshine across the St. Louis area on this Monday after a delightful weekend. 65 will do it for the high. That's about where we should be as we close out October. Tonight, clear skies, 47. Tuesday, plenty of sunshine, 68. Another cold front, a stronger cold front coming in on Wednesday with showers and thunderstorms Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night. I'm Fox 2 meteorologist Dave Murray for FM News Talk 97.1.
Your Money Matters, brought to you by Fisher Window and Door Store, your dealer for Marvin Windows and Doors in the St. Louis region. FisherWindow.com. Traffic from the Frank Lita Acura Traffic Center.
Slow going out there on 270 westbound between Lilac Avenue and Florissant Avenue. 70 westbound tied up due to road work, Kings Highway to Hanley Road. 4064 eastbound on the brakes, Clayton Road to Big Bend Boulevard. The same on the westbound side, Hampton to Big Bend Boulevard. 44 eastbound, a bit tight, Shrewsbury Avenue to Hampton Avenue. On 270 northbound, slow going, Gravaway to Manchester. 64 westbound, tied up, 15th Street to 5570. That continues to and through 3rd Street. 97.1 News Time, 8:33. It's 54 degrees.
MentalityHealth.com has a great package for you. It's a take-home deal where, there are some people who prefer the injection for their testosterone boosts, and that's cool because they have the offices out there, St. Peters, Chesterfield, and South County for you to get the job done in that regard. And so they'll make it happen for you right there on the premises. But you also go in for the initial check in terms of just detailing what your levels are and how they're going to help you out. And they'll take care of you and figure out the level you need to be at. And then, of course, they're also going to then go ahead and make it so that you can take home, and it's a sublingual by mouth version too. So it depends on what you want to do, what's more comfortable for you, time-wise, everything else, and convenient-wise. So they'll make sure it's good for you at MentalityHealth.com. These guys are great. It's an insured process, so it is proven safe as well as effective. And guys, you're going to get back to being that guy you want to be. Again, don't surrender. It's not old age. It's testosterone levels, and they can boost you back up again with MentalityHealth.com. That's MentalityHealth.com.
Call us first. If you're thinking about refinancing or moving, call Vincent Mortgage first. Knowing up front what you can afford opens up a world of options. Let us help you find out in as little as 8 days. Rates are still at historic lows. So if you're looking to buy a home or pay off debt, you gotta call now. 314-839-9999.
Come visit us at 12801 Flushing Meadows Drive, St. Louis, Missouri, 63131. NMLS number 225095.
Parents, is your son getting what he needs to succeed in high school or middle school? You know he has great potential, but he's just not achieving it. Missouri Military Academy offers a supportive environment and positive influence to give your son a strong foundation for college. At Missouri Military Academy, students live on campus and benefit from a structured learning environment that builds confidence, leadership skills, and strong study habits. Now enrolling for spring semester starting in January. Visit MissouriMilitaryAcademy.org and register for their December open house.
You're listening to Allman in the Morning, coming to you live from the Banner Construction Studios. Banner is your preferred contractor for #1 James Hardy Fiber Cement Siding. Every job gets a specialized crew for quality craftsmanship. Call 314-569-1050.
Welcome back to the St. Louis Trivia Show that keeps you on your toes. It's Do You Know St. Louis? Our contestant today is Tim. Tim, tell us about yourself.
Well,
You don't say. That's fantastic. Ready to play?
I think
then
so.
Let's begin. First question. What do Shaquille O'Neal and FBI Director Comey have in common?
They have the same barber?
No, they both attended meetings at America's Center this year.
That buzzer hurt my ears.
I'm sure it did. Next question. Where in St. Louis did the Incredible Hulk meet Doctor Who?
Oh, I know. In that phone booth thing.
No, they both attended Wizard World at America's Center. Last question. Where where.
Could it be America's Center, perhaps?
That's right, Tim. Tell him what he's won.
Well, Tim, each year the America's Center hosts more than 100 events and over 600,000 convention attendees from around the world. And that means jobs for more than 3,000 St. Louisans like you.
I know St. Louis.
Visit conventionsmeanbusiness.com for more answers to why conventions are vital to St. Louis.
The election is near, so get to the St. Charles County Republican Central Committee headquarters to pick up all your yard signs, bumper stickers, buttons, and hats for Donald Trump and all the state Republican candidates. Located at 975 West Terra Lane, O'Fallon, Missouri.
Jamie Allman.
Allman in the morning.
Talk lines are open now at 314-969-9797 or toll free at 866-455-9797. Allman in the morning. Common Sense Radio.
Has it occurred to anybody the question, why have we spent the past 2 weeks talking about something that hasn't happened yet? How does anybody know this is an uphill battle? How does anybody know it's done? How does anybody know this and that? And why are we listening to all these talking heads who are actually just anti-Trumpers posing as analysts, telling us the election is over? And why is it that we're treating this like it's some kind of sporting event when we have no empirical evidence at all of how the vote's going to turn out? None! And you can talk polls all you want, but for every poll that says Trump's down, there's a poll that says he's up. So why are we listening to these people? But we are. It's part of the whole game. We got to sit there and listen to these talking heads, or the GOP establishment cabin boys like Jonah Goldberg and the others, cabin girls, who are just carrying water for the establishment. Most of them weren't even old enough to vote for Ronald Reagan, and now they're experts on conservatism. It's unbelievable. And they're running the show. They're trying to bury Trump's candidacy before there's even a vote. I saw that Judith Miller was on Fox News yesterday, and they were talking about early voting. And what does she do? She says she turns it into a, women early voting, and they're the ones voting, and they're going to probably vote for Trump or for Hillary because there's only so much you can stand of Donald Trump calling women pigs. She's like trying to push the election a certain way. Mm-hmm. She has no idea how the increase in women or how that's affecting the election. No idea at all. But she uses it to campaign against him on Fox News. Judith Miller, she's supposed to be some analyst, but she's just an anti-Trump hack. But we got to listen to these people all day long, posing as analysts. Let's get back to Jay here. Jay, brother, listen. Hey, by the way, on TV today, we've got actually yet more evidence of potential voter fraud in the 5th district and in the 5th ward. I'm sorry. And that's what we're talking about here with Bruce Franks and then Megan Green, who's running against yet another Hubbard in the Board of Aldermen. Right. And, this isn't about the Hubbards. I'm not saying they're corrupt. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying that. But this system down there, I mean, Rasheen Aldridge, who is running for a newly called election. We've had 2 elections that have been redone. One is the 5th Ward Committeeman race. The other is obviously the 78th State House district that Bruce Franks wound up winning after winning it and then losing because her absentee ballot suddenly appeared out of nowhere. Right. Then you have the 5th Ward Committeeman, Rasheen Aldridge, who grew up in that neighborhood, said he grew up his whole life thinking that the Hubbards basically owned it and there was nothing you could do.
They run for 2 offices at a time.
Yeah.
There's it's like people are like, what? What's that about?
Yeah, no, and that's the problem is that we have a situation where let's just get Rob back on the phone because I punched up 2 lines, but yeah, where these guys are fighting similar things to what many of us conservatives are fighting and have been fighting.
Absolutely, and I think that what's important is Bruce. I know Megan was a Sanders supporter. But both conservatives and Sanders people can learn from them. Because I feel like the Sanders campaign, when they looked into it, they talk about all the WikiLeaks things, but just people in the Sanders campaign they basically said as soon as they saw that black voters weren't into them, they just dropped them and kind of alienated them. Or you have people like Megan and Bruce who can speak to the concerns of the Sanders voters who turned out to be more predominantly both rural and white male, but also speak to the concerns of people who live in the cities in that diverse population. And it's the same thing with the Republicans. Donald Trump is speaking to a lot of rural Americans who just feel like they've been left out and just screwed.
Right.
And Scott Walker was supposed to be that guy, but he blew it because he had to give 4 answers to every question. But, people, they feel disaffected just like people in the city feel disaffected.
Yeah.
And a lot of the Democratic Party has been like, you guys and your guns and this and that. And they're like, well, yeah, we have semi-automatic weapons out here, assault weapons, whatever, and we're not shooting each other.
Yeah.
And I've talked to a lot of progressive activists that are saying, hey, wait a minute. It's not the guns. It's how are the guns getting from legal owners to people down here on the streets who shouldn't have them?
Right.
That's a reasonable compromise. But so often Democrats are like, the problem is so many guns. You can have 5 million more guns if they're in the hands of upstanding people. And I've talked to a lot of progressives down here, activists, who agree that it's not just the guns, and that's too simplistic.
Yeah, and Sanders got all kinds of grief for that, and now people I hope they're not going to vote for a woman who's going to want to overturn Heller. But anyway, Jay, I got to go, man, because I got to get to Rob. But thanks so much. TheGrayFalcon.webs.com. Appreciate you as always, brother.
Thanks.
All right, that's Jay Stewart, the Gray Falcon. And